my gosh, I am so excited for this video. Hi, it's Anna. I hope you guys are well today. But today I'm going to be answering your writerly questions. And I usually ask my questions on my community posts. So if you do want to like keep updated, definitely check that out. I'm so excited. So let's get on to the video. The first question is, I'm working on my first book and I was wondering how old you were when you first started writing. I feel like I'm so old. I'm 18 now. So I started to write when I was like 13 years old. So when I was like in grade 7, grade 8. Next question is, do you ever get multiple story ideas at once? Yeah. If so, how do you organize your thoughts and choose what you want to prioritize? Whenever I get any sort of idea, I always pop it in my notes app on my phone or write it down on my Notions page. And I organize all my stuff on Notions, so if you guys want to definitely check out a video where I show you how I organize all my projects, definitely, you know, click that. So yeah, firstly, I just write it down, and if it doesn't grab me fully to the point where I like diverge from my current work in progress, I just set it aside. But if it completely like grabs a hold of me, I definitely just like start writing. So yes, I'm literally working on 5 different projects at once, but 2 are my priority, which is Project BB and also Project I First Met You in a Graveyard. So those are my 2 I'm working on right now. The next question was, when did you realize you wanted to become a writer? Is there anyone who inspired you along the way? I was definitely inspired by the authors C.S. Lewis and Tolkien, because they were like my childhood books I used to always read. Just having like that beautiful world to kind of escape to, even if I was, you know, young, just like, I don't know, the whole different worldly experience kind of just inspired me to want to write, especially fantasy novels. Next question is, how did you improve your writing, like descriptions or dialogue? I have been writing for long, and I know that with time and practice it'll get better, but it's so hard not to get critical towards myself right now when I compare my writing to other authors. Yeah, literally I understand so well. Being a writer, especially a young writer, it's so hard to see your improvement when you're continuously writing. But sometimes you just gotta, you know, realize that these ideas came from your brain. Like, that's kind of cool, right? And just try to focus on your little goals. I know it's kind of hard to not think about getting your book published eventually, because you're like, what the heck else am I working toward? But just try to, like, you know, be consistent in your goal setting. I don't think that made sense. Sorry. Next question is, what motivates you to keep writing? Are there ever scenes you don't like to write? If so, how do you overcome the struggle of having to write them? I'm looking forward to your video. I love your channel, so I love you so much. But yes, of course. Well, yeah. But the thing is that since I'm such a big pantser, when I get to a boring scene, I almost relish it, because like I don't know what else to write after. Being a pantser is so annoying. I know this might sound weird, but scenes with action, I cannot. I don't know what it is. It's just like having to think about every, you know, thing that's happening, what's happening with that character, and like what the character's feeling. It's just like so hard. So I just like usually try to push through it. I barely ever like write gaps or just like insert thing here. I always try to push through even if it's terrible. But yeah. But if you needed some tips, I would definitely say acting it out in your head and maybe giving yourself like a, honestly this is kind of funny, giving yourself like a, what's the word? Like a treat scene. Is that weird? The treat scene to me is like having something that you love to write, like a scene that you love to write. So in my case, I love to write really cute scenes with the characters, whether that be like a romance scene or like a really cute, like funny scene. Have that inside that scene, so you actually are kind of writing something you like. If not, have it at least after, so you have to like get through it and like have that funny scene or romantic scene relevant to what happened in that boring scene. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. I hope you do. That's really awkward if you don't. The next question is, what age did you start to write? And again, I said I was 12 or 13. I'm a Christian myself, and it's so wonderful to see another Christian that enjoys a good fantasy story. I'm so glad that you're a Christian. Hello. But on that comment, I do want to add something to the fact that being a Christian regarding writing and reading fantasy books, because my parents and a lot of my grandparents are kind of more, they don't really like magic or things to do with monsters or demons, since it's not really Christian-like. And I find that really terrible because like I'm literally writing about monsters and like ghosts and like stuff like that. But again, it's so cool, right? So yeah, I don't know, I've been thinking about that a lot. But in regards to me, I love fantasy books and I love God, so it's like I still try to incorporate Christian like values in my books, so I think it's fine. Next question is, did you ever feel overwhelmed when you start a new novel? If so, do you have any tips? Girl, are you starting a new novel? That's so exciting. Okay, yes, people think that starting a book is the hardest part. It's not. Starting a book is the easiest part, at least for me. Like the first chapter is literally the easiest thing to ever write because it's almost like you're writing a short story. I think it's really important as a side note also to not include prologues. People love prologues. I like don't. Epilogues you can include. Epilogues we love, but prologues, just like get straight to the action. Just like go straight to chapter 1 because no one's gonna read the prologue. Even if it's necessary to plot, definitely do it, but like try your best just to like get gritty and get started. And the major tip that I have is to first start off your book with action. If it's a fantasy book, it would be so cool if it was like a, I don't know, I'm getting like a first chapter idea. Maybe if your character is like a warrior or some sort, have them fight in a battle and like over dramatize it so it's as if the character is gonna die, but then like at the end reveal that it was just like a training session or something and they were like facing their greatest rivalry or something. I don't know, just like start with action, something to do with action. That's my #1 tip. Next question is, what is your writing schedule like? How do you motivate yourself to write every day? I do try to write every day, even if it's not that much. I definitely do write every day, which is like such a good thing. Like, girl, I do that. I think the best thing I've ever been able to do was to move my documents online so I can work off my phone once I'm out, and also on my computer, on my iPad, everywhere. So get Google Docs so you can work from it, you know, remotely. Another thing is to work on multiple projects at once because girl, you're gonna get literally so overwhelmed and just so like stuck with a lot of your books. So having multiple, you know, not too many, I know I make that mistake, at least like 2 or 3 consistent projects just to work on. And to add upon that, maybe you can have a fun project. So my fun project is Project WW. If you didn't know what that project is, I have a video talking about all my projects, so go click that. But yeah, I have that fun project where there's literally no plot, just all vibes. So if you need something just to write on, definitely just have a fun project. How do you know what to write and how do you get ideas in your mind when you're first starting? I come up with a lot of my ideas outside, like when I'm out, which is so weird. I should be focusing on like the people around me and focusing on like what the heck I'm doing. So I think getting outdoors helps for me talk to people, see things. So for example, my last project I first met you in a graveyard, I literally was just passing a graveyard and I thought about this book, like the whole plot just like came to me. So if you just see something, hear something, feel something, real life experiences make ideas. The last question she kind of asked was, what's your favorite style of writing? For example, romance. I love romance. No, but I actually love romance. Like, even though I'm not really a romantic person, I love writing romance and of course fantasy. That's my vibe. So thank you so much, Alina, for those awesome questions. Okay, next question is, how do you come up with plot twists that aren't super predictable but still align with the story? And do you think that books need plot twists? I actually don't think books need plot twists, but flip, they're so fun to make. Plot twists are literally the reason I write, not gonna lie. My favorite thing is to just write down all my plot twists before I get into the book. But how to make them, it's a bit harder to explain that. A lot of people like to work backwards. Try to think of just like the most crazy reveal that will leave everyone shocked. It also has to, yeah, as you said, definitely like be relevant to your book and your characters. I think the best things is like betrayal, things to do with identity, also to do with like the history of the book. So maybe, you know, the history is like kind of thought to be this when in reality it's twisted to actually in reality be this. And that can also be incorporated through like your magic systems and stuff like that. Just make sure that they're relevant and not just for shock value, because that is even worse than having no plot twists. But other than that, They'll come as you write the book, don't worry. Next question is, how do you usually answer the question, what's your book about? Yeah, it's a hard question. It's kind of hard. When someone asks like what book I'm writing, I just say a fantasy book. That's as much as I can go, because I know I get super insecure whenever, you know, I tell someone about my book, because I just feel like, are they getting bored? Are they getting bored? Are they bored yet? So unless if they're, you know, someone who would listen to at least like 20 minutes of me explaining my book, then I would start explaining. But for now. The next question is, do you struggle with making time to write? Yes, since I'm studying law at uni, I do find it a little bit hard now to find more time to write. But then again, I feel like I'm writing more than I have ever written in my life. I write like every day. And as I said, just having the flexibility of, you know, having your writing software on every single device you can, and just knowing also if you're a writer who is a morning person or a late night person. I'm a late night person, so I usually write like after dinner or something. So yeah, just finding little pockets of time. It's hard, but it's doable. If you really are passionate about your book, you will find time. And lastly, just for fun, what's your favorite ice cream flavor? I really like macadamia nut and also Rocky Road. They're really good. Next question is, when did you first get into writing? What made you realize that you wanted to be an author? How do you come up with what you want to write even when you have no idea? A lot of really great questions. Of course, I already answered a few of them, but the last question, which was how do you come up with what you want to write even though you have no idea? Sometimes I do have no idea, especially in regards to like plot developing. You know like what point A and point B is, but you don't know in between. So when that happens, I usually just try to pantser it out. If not, what I literally do is sleep. No, I don't sleep. No, sorry. I sit down on my bed with my AirPods in and just listen to an ambient / like fantasy playlist, and I just think of awesome fight scenes or like awesome cute scenes with characters, and I just kind of go from there. Another thing that I do, which is such a big tip, it's like literally my #1 tip whenever I like try to plot as a pantser, and that is to have settings. If you just know the place, or like at least the places where things are going to happen, that helps a lot. The next one is, how do you outline and keep everything organized? It is hard when you kind of stop reading and you write instead what you've already written, I think is what you're trying to say. No, I don't really, I mean, yes, I used to get super off track, because as soon as you start to reread it, you want to edit it and then you want to change it, and you're like, what the heck, why would I want to continue writing if this isn't perfect? So no, don't do that. I used to, but I like to reread my work when I don't intend to write. So once you're doing writing, you can write, but if you want to read your book and just like have fun and vibe with it, just vibe. What was your question? How do I keep organized? I just have always have two projects you need to prioritize, and that's good. I hope I answered that. Probably not. If you guys are still watching, thank you. It means so much. Okay, next question. When you were a child, what did you want to be? Such a beautiful question. I actually, when I was younger, wanted to be a lawyer. That's like the #1 thing I ever wanted to do. Sorry also if the lighting keeps changing. The sun is like going down, so sorry about that. But yeah, I wanted to become a lawyer. Then I wanted to become a writer. Then I wanted to become like a business entrepreneur. Still do. And then I wanted to become a poet. And then I wanted to become a writer. So a whole bunch of different stuff. But awesome question. Next question is, do you plan on traditional publishing your novels or self-publishing? I literally have no idea what those things mean. But I would love to publish, probably traditional publish if I can. If not, definitely just like self-publish. I'm open to try different things. Yeah, I know I'm gonna get rejected. I'm just really scared for that day. Which edit program do you use? I use Premiere Pro. How do you find motivation? I don't. I'm kidding. Just like being passionate, I guess, helps a lot. How do you find an ending for your book? I think I find my ending through what I want to tell, like how I want to tell a story, as in like what the message is. So I want the resolution to encompass that, if that makes sense. What's my favorite book trope? I love found family so freaking much. Also, I like any romantic tropes. I mean, I don't really like enemies to lovers too much, even though I'm literally writing one, but friends to lovers to me is like worst book trope. I don't like the pregnancy trope. Not that I've really read anything to do with that, but for me, like, go. If not, I really don't like the main character being incapable. Is that a trope? Just like the main character finding like a whole bunch of powers that they had. I just don't vibe with that, even though a lot of my books, like my favorite books, have that trope. For example, something like the Shadowhunter series, The Mortal Instruments. I love that series, but just like Clary annoys me so much. So I love strong main characters, but it is so hard, I get it now, to write a character that isn't annoying, especially if it's the main character. Okay, this person had some similar questions, but she asked, what is your biggest inspiration? Definitely reading books I've read, like nature, also music, and also the Bible and my Christianity, I guess. Oh my gosh, yeah, if you guys want to read the Bible, definitely do. It's so cool. I have my Bible right here, so I'm gonna tell you what you should read. You should read Revelations, I think. Read Revelations, because Revelations is the best. It's literally like a fantasy novel. If you guys want to read the Bible, read Revelations. It's so cool. Next question is, when is your birthday? My birthday is, when's my birthday? Somewhere in February. And the next question is, how can you come out with different story ideas? How do you extend the story as well? So how to come up with new ideas? Definitely just, again, go outside, listen to music, be with people. But to extend your story, having a message and a motif is just such a big thing for me, because like, what's the whole point of writing a book if it doesn't mean anything and if the reader doesn't take anything from it? So when you have an idea and you're plotting it out and everything, how do you make sure everything makes sense? I'm a pantser. In order to make everything make sense, it won't make sense because it's only your first draft. The thing that I love to do is to explain it to my friends, my family, literally butcher them with my words and my ideas, and like, does this make sense? Does this make sense? Does this make sense? Because people who like look from it from a different perspective can give you cool ideas and solutions to your plot holes and make things make sense. So ask people. Ask people. Favorite music to listen while writing? I love to listen to Brown Sound slash thunder and lightning and rain. If not, oh my gosh guys, have you listened to Lee Ross? So those things I listen to. Next question is, who are my favorite author tubers? Chris is probably my favorite. She is so cool. She is so cool. How do you balance school and writing? My life's chaotic and crazy and I don't have a routine at all. So you just gotta find time to write. If not, on weekends is when I write most. Next question is, how do you get your ideas to stay on the paper? When I think I'm done, I reread it and it's all a bunch of cringe. I mean, yeah, I've definitely written some scenes which I've wanted to keep so bad in my book, but I've just like had to scrap it because it works better if something else happened in regards to like the character chemistry and stuff like that, or like the plot. I don't think I've really cringed at my work. I mean, definitely like the way I've written and like I'm like, whoa, I don't know how to write, but like just try not to reread your work as you write. In regards to your ideas, just like appreciate them, respect them, and know that they can be improved. Next question is, how do I create backstory for my character? How do I create a real powerful female character? That's awesome that you're choosing to have your main character as a female, but how you come up with a backstory, it is kind of hard. I feel I don't like to explore too much of their backstory, but just be calm and like try to know that your characters will reveal stuff to you as your story goes on. In regards to what's happened to the past, it is hard, but maybe just try to get ideas from other characters you love, maybe people you know, or things that has happened in your own life, because I feel myself projecting a lot of things to my characters, which sometimes is a bit weird, but at least you have ideas, right? And of course, if you wanted to write a really powerful female character, make her completely badass. Like, try to get her to be just completely like sarcastic and like cool and just like uncaring, but like deep down she's really caring. I don't know, for some reason my brain is kind of going for give them reason to want revenge, because I think that's really cool. At least like for me, having revenge for my main character in my project is like something she's driven on. That makes her really cool and really strong. Next question is, do you know what story you want to debut in? I definitely think Project BB is like the project I would love, since it's really well-rounded and like it is one book. But if I had to choose like another one, it'd definitely be Project CZ, which is literally like the book that I know I was like meant to write. Project BB is definitely more relevant to the things people are reading and like writing now, so I think that's more appropriate. But if I could, Project CZ. It's getting like really hot in my room, because if you guys didn't know, it's literally still summer in Australia, so I'm gonna put my hair up real quick. Thoughts on plagiarism in books? Yeah, I think also like plagiarism of ideas, definitely. I feel like it's hard because everything is inspired by something. You can't have an original idea basically. In regards to real like plagiarism, it's terrible. I don't like it. But sometimes like if you have the idea that has simultaneously like popped in your head as well as another person, it gets difficult then, but just like don't do it. Don't do it. It's against the law. I'm studying law, so I know that. Next question is such a good question. How do you write a book and not give up on it? I've given up on a lot of books. Not really given up, more just like shelved them. And like haven't worked on them for a while. I think just like having enough faith in the book and like knowing that it will get developed and it will like get better is such a big thing, because yes, there may be like new shiny ideas, but just remember that your characters are waiting to be written and they need you. Next question is what? Is writer's block real? Girl, of course. But don't worry, you'll get through it if you are in writer's block right now. I don't think I am at the moment, which is good. Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it for me. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for all your amazing questions. It literally was so beautiful just like hear all you guys, and I was just so excited to film this. So thank you again. But I know this video was super long. If you were able to watch it till the end, you seriously you're so sweet. Anyways guys, I love you so much. Keep writing, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.